Myrna Clayton is also an advocate, an ambassador for making sure there are opportunities for people from underserved and underrepresented communities, including people from across the spectrum of disability. She founded an organization now called SHOWAbility.
I didn't intend to start an organization. What I intended was to find this young boy. I was at a church and performing, and or one of the performers that was singing at this church, and I saw a little boy. I guess he must have been around 10 years old, and I saw him struggle to get up 3 steps into the pulpit, and I guess he had cerebral palsy because he had the arm canes, but Audrey, when he started singing, you forgot all about his challenge, and you know, I say some of the most inaccessible venues are churches, temples, mosques, you know, and synagogues, because you have to be able to get up there. And so what you're saying unintentionally is that you're not welcome up here. That's not the intent. Choir lofts are the same. You're saying unintentionally, you're not welcome here. And so they're not accessible for persons. And so as a result, they don't even try to come. But that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, with him, I was impressed, but I didn't have the thought at the time to kind of ask, what's your name or anything like that. I was just happy to hear him. But about 5 years later, God would have it that he crossed my mind, and I began asking. I said to myself, I was like, he should be about 15 or 16. I bet he's killing it. I wonder where he's performing. And so I began asking musicians that I know, choir directors that I know, and musicians across genres. I'm looking for this young man, and not one person knew a person with a disability who sang. Now, I have an MBA. My corporate experience is new product and new business development, and so I understand looking at needs. And so I was like, I didn't know the statistics at the time, but I was like, that doesn't make sense. No one knows anybody with a disability who sings? That just made no sense. And so the anger of it made me say, I'm going to find that little guy, and I'm going to give an opportunity for this. And so I began having talent shows and bringing folks together. And the interesting thing is, many people with disabilities don't want to come into the spotlight. Not because of their lack of talent, but because of us. Because we have a tendency to be critical. We have a tendency to not say nice things. And so as a result, they don't feel welcome. They don't feel appreciated. And so it's not a them and they, it's what I've observed. And so with that, I formed the organization. It was first called Able To, and now we're SHOWAbility. We changed our name in 2020 just to kind of make it real clear that we're showcasing persons' abilities across the disability community, whether that's born or acquired, visible or invisible, because the disability community crosses all the demographics: age, race, gender, ethnicity, nationality, socioeconomics. Crosses. And so there are 26% of the U.S. population have a disability. 26%. 1 in 4 people have a disability. And you mean to tell me there's nobody with talent within that? And so that was where my push was with SHOWAbility. And we are now just efforting. Efforting is my word. Efforting, not trying. We're efforting. We're putting place to be there because we want to be, for the arts and entertainment industry, what the Paralympics and the Special Olympics are for the sports industry, showcasing talent and excellence. And when we say it like that, people kind of get it. Okay, we get what you want to do.
Like a cultural Olympiad. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, but showcasing their talent and it being a place where people are welcome. And at that point, once they're embraced because of their uniqueness, no one's saying stay within there. We're saying mainstream. 3 things happened in 2019 that was significant in the disability community. First, Cody Lee won America's Got Talent. Cody Lee, blind on the autism spectrum, okay? Amazing talent. Because of his parents, because of his mom and his parents, he blew up. I mean, he's amazing and he's everywhere, inspiration. Number 2, Ali Stroker won Best Actress on Broadway. For
in
Oklahoma.
A wheelchair, right?
Wheelchair. Yeah. Every night for her to perform, they had to lift her up and put her on stage because the stage is not accessible. Number 3, there was a documentary called Crip Camp. Crip Camp was launched on Netflix. It won Best Documentary at Sundance Film Festival and was nominated for an Oscar, and so it went up for an Oscar. These three things happened in 2019 that really sort of opened the possibility and said, you know what? I think the disability community started saying, we need support, we need appreciation. And if you add one person with a disability, one person that's connected to the disability community, either a parent or a sibling, that's 52% of the U.S. population. That's over half the population is connected in some way to the disability community. And so we just have to open our eyes. I say that they're hidden in plain view. They're here. It's not like they're not here, but we don't see them. And why? Last point on that, because I could go on, as you can see, on that matter. I give those of us in the general population an out. And whether it's deserved or not, I give us one because I'm there. I'm guilty of it myself. And that is from childhood, we've been taught not to point and not to stare. And because of that, we don't see them.
And not to ask.
And not to ask all kinds of things. And so we kind of weird out when it comes to being around someone because we don't want to make them uncomfortable. But in our discomfort, we're making them uncomfortable. And so if we would just learn to embrace and see them for their abilities and not their challenges. Even the word disability says to disable, to disassemble something. And so even with what we refer to it, it's really not a positive situation. I don't have a better, option because even with saying the word differently able, I love it because it explains everything, right? What their persons in the disability community, especially those born with a disability, say that it's patronizing. They don't like it. And so what I've learned to do, first of all, is put people first, the person first, a person with a disability, person in a wheelchair, person, you put the person first. And then whatever that person, however they refer to themselves, that's how I refer to them. So if it's special needs, okay. If it's wheelchair user, okay. Whatever they refer to themselves is what I do. What I talk about is their uniqueness. They have a uniqueness, and let's promote their uniqueness. And so even with it as an entertainer, oftentimes I can't find artists with disabilities because they don't talk about their uniqueness, because they don't want you prejudging them, and so they don't say that
see me as a performer.
Correct, correct. And so as a result, I don't see their uniqueness. But that's like me coming and not telling somebody I'm black. I own who I am, own who you are. It is who you are, and work it. But that takes confidence. That takes self-esteem. That takes some things that we have to work through because, again, society, not a person or an individual, society is laying this thing on you.
No, it's like we need a cultural change, a shift.
Absolutely.
And I think by what you're doing, showcasing their abilities is an opportunity for people to see, hey, let's pay attention.
Exactly.
And even people who are able-bodied, you don't know what the future may bring.
You definitely don't. Exactly. We say that the disability community is the largest minority population in the country, and it's the only one that anyone can join at any time. And that's the stark reality. You don't know the situation. And many people, even if you've broken a leg and you've been temporarily disabled, you recognize, oh, wait, there's some problems here. Because even ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, I know that it's great. It will be 33 years old, just 33 years old this year. And we're planning a huge event in July for that. But for me, it basically says you can enter the building and go to the bathroom. And it's building code compliance. Why do I say that? Other elements of the building, other elements that humans need to access, it's not accessible. And so accessibility is a huge issue. For example,
bathrooms, I'm thinking, and even office doors or
all of that.
Furniture configurations.
And here's, as a performer, Audrey, we can't get on stage. Again, like the church pulpit, we can't get up there to be able to be seen. If a stage is accessible, most times it's for equipment, not for the human being. How do I know that? Is because we can't get to the green room from the stage. We can't get to the tech area from the stage. And many of those places are not accessible. And so as a performer, as a person in the staff that's working for places, you don't have access. And so I can't do my job because of accessibility.
It's kind of an aha moment, for you to talk about this.
Exactly.
You think about being, oftentimes, a left-handed person in a right-handed world, the way desks are configured, things like that.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And so, again, it's because we've not thought about them or thought about the situation, but once it's brought to our attention, then we become advocates. Then we'll say, oh, but we need to do this. And the other piece about disability, oftentimes we think just about wheelchair accessibility. There's the deaf community, there's the blind community. Why does Stevie Wonder need glasses? He doesn't need glasses. For what? For what does he need glasses?
Is it to hide behind?
No,
because
it's for
it makes
us.
other people uncomfortable?
Correct. It's for us. It's for us and our discomfort. As a matter of fact, my favorite line in the Ray Charles movie was the guy threw these glasses to them, and he says, "Here, put these on. I can't stand to look at your eyes." You know, and so it's that kind of thing. It's for the general population, comfort. It is absolutely not for the person.
So does SHOWAbility, you have performances periodically and other classes?
We do. This July coming up is ADA month, and so we're having a pep rally this year. We're so excited because we've been locked down for so long. We want to come out and have fun. We want to celebrate ADA, and so this is an opportunity for those artists that we know for them to showcase. But in addition to that, because it's a legislative issue, we're also going to be having conversations about getting out to vote. We're going to be having conversations about what's available from a health standpoint. That information will be there. But we also feature we have an inclusive chorus made up of singers with and without disabilities. And so they are available to perform. We also, because of the momentum that's happening, and there's no organization like SHOWAbility in the country, we're having casting agents contact us, looking for actors, background actors, main actors, as well as crew to work for films that are obviously casting in Atlanta, since Atlanta's the film
That's
place.
Right, Hollywood of the South, or whatever we call ourselves.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yollywood.
And so we are now developing a management program within ours because we know artists that are disabled that are very talented, and we're also offering classes for persons because you have to be trained, to do this. You just can't show up and act, and so we offer that. And then this year, we're very much so wanting to go into the school systems. And so we're calling this the Year of the Youth, like Mayor Dickens wanted to do or is doing, and we're going into the school systems because that's where we know that we don't have enough persons in our roster, because in the school system it's kind of contained, and families keep the kids, kind of close in, and so we don't know who's talented, and oftentimes music teachers, band teachers, chorus teachers, they don't know singers. And why? Because the student signs up for chorus.
Now, I hate to end this here, but I think that we are at the end of our time together. Myrna, Clayton, I'm going to have the contact information in our credits about SHOWAbility, et cetera. Thank you so much for joining me at the table. And thank you for joining us at the table.